Welcome to Histosleep, a place where every gentle sound guides you toward peace, and every moment helps you drift into deep, restful sleep. I'm so glad you've joined me tonight. Dear listener, settle in gently now. Feel the place where you are. Notice the way your body meets the surface beneath you. Let your shoulders soften, your jaw loosen, your breath slow down just a little. There is nowhere else you need to be. Nothing you need to solve. Tonight is for rest, for quiet, for being carried. As you breathe in, imagine the air is cool and clean. As you breathe out, imagine any tightness leaving you. The room around you can fade into the background. Sounds become softer, farther away, as if wrapped in velvet. With every breath, you are allowed to sink a little deeper into comfort. You might imagine a gentle breeze brushing past a window, or the hush of leaves moving together outside. Maybe there is the faint crackle of a hearth somewhere in the distance, steady and reassuring. Let those images come and go without effort. There is no right way to listen. Just let the words wash over you. If your mind wanders, that is perfectly fine. Each time you notice it drifting, simply guide it back to the sound of my voice, back to this moment, back to rest. Our story today begins at a small, quiet train station, long after most of the world has gone to sleep. The platform is lit by warm, amber lights that glow softly against the dark. A night train waits patiently on the tracks, its metal sides cool and still, its windows reflecting stars. When you step aboard, the door closes with a gentle sigh, as if the train itself is welcoming you. Inside, everything is calm. The seats are comfortable, the lights dimmed low. Outside the window, the countryside stretches wide and open. Fields, trees, and distant hills slide past in slow motion. The train begins to move, and soon there is a steady rhythm beneath you, a soft hum, a quiet click and glide. Each sound becomes part of a lullaby. Across from you sits a kind stranger. Their presence is easy, unhurried. They offer a small smile, the kind that feels sincere and warm. After a while, they begin to speak, their voice low and gentle, matching the pace of the train. They tell you they carry good news, not loud news, not urgent news, just true stories of hope gathered from different corners of the world. As the train rolls on, the stranger tells you about green sea turtles. Long ago, these turtles lost many of the beaches where they once returned year after year. But in recent times, something quiet and beautiful has happened. People began to protect the shores. Lights were dimmed, nets were removed. Slowly, patiently, the turtles came back. Tonight, somewhere far away, tiny hatchlings are making their first careful journey toward the sea. Guided by moonlight and instinct, the thought settles in your chest like a warm stone. The train continues through the night, its rhythm steady, almost breathing. The stranger's voice rises and falls like a calm tide. They speak of a river in India, once choked and lifeless, now flowing again. Neighbors gathered, hands worked together. Trash was cleared, banks were restored. Over time, fish returned, birds followed. Water moved freely once more. Life came back, not all at once, but little by little. Just like rest returns to you now. Your eyelids may feel heavier. That is a good sign. You can let them close whenever they want to. The countryside outside grows darker, quieter. A few farmhouse lights blink by, then disappear. Inside the carriage, everything feels safe, enclosed, peaceful. If these quiet tales are helping you drift off. A gentle like or a silent subscribe would mean the world. It helps this sleepy corner of the internet reach others who need a little calm too. I always wonder, where in the world are you listening from right now? If you're still awake, leave a whisper of a comment, maybe your city and the time on your clock. It's a beautiful thing, this quiet little global gathering, all connected through stories and stillness. Now, let's set the mood. Dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum and get comfortable. The train moves deeper into the countryside now. The tracks curve gently, and with each turn, your thoughts seem to smooth out. The stranger pauses between stories, letting silence do its work. In that quiet, you can hear your own breath, slow and even, in and out, in and out. They continue, sharing small moments of kindness. A community garden blooming in an empty lot. A library rebuilt after a storm. A child learning to read by lantern light. None of it rushed, none of it loud. Just steady proof that care still exists, that healing is possible. Outside, a thin mist begins to rise from the fields. It drifts low to the ground, silver in the moonlight. The train passes through it, and for a moment the world feels wrapped in a soft veil. Inside, the air is warm. The seat supports you perfectly. You might feel as if you are floating, gently rocked by the motion beneath you. The stranger's voice grows quieter now, slower. They speak less, allowing the rhythm of the tracks to take over. Click, glide, hum. Each sound nudges you closer to sleep. Your body knows what to do. Your mind can rest. The night stretches on, wide and forgiving. This journey asks nothing of you. You are simply being carried toward.com, toward rest, toward sleep. The train continues its steady passage, and time begins to feel softer, less defined. Minutes stretch and blur together like watercolors. You may notice that your thoughts no longer form complete sentences. They arrive as images instead. A window glowing in the dark, a cup of warm tea, the gentle rise and fall of breath. Across from you, the kind stranger shifts slightly, careful not to disturb the calm. Their presence feels grounding, like someone watching over the quiet. When they speak again, it is almost a whisper, as if the night itself is listening. They tell you about forests that were once silent, now echoing with birdsong again. About people who planted trees, knowing they might never sit in their shade, yet planted them anyway. Somewhere, saplings grew into shelter. Roots held soil in place. Rain slowed and softened as it met leaves instead of bare ground. These are not miracles that shout. They are miracles that breathe slowly, like you are doing now. The train hum deepens, a constant, reassuring sound beneath everything else. It is the sound of movement without effort, of progress without urgency. You do not need to steer. You do not need to decide. You are being carried safely forward. Outside, the landscape changes again. Open fields give way to clusters of trees. Their branches reach toward one another, forming dark arches as the train passes. The moon slips in and out of view, hiding behind clouds, then reappearing. Each glimpse of light feels like a gentle reminder that even when things are hidden, they are still there. You might feel a pleasant heaviness in your limbs now. Arms resting, legs supported, hands loose. If there is any remaining tension, imagine it melting downward, sinking into the seat, into the floor, into the earth far below the tracks. Gravity is kind tonight. It holds you without pulling. The stranger shares another story. This one is about a small coastal town where coral reefs were once damaged and pale. People learned to care for the waters differently. Fishing slowed. Pollution was reduced. Over years, color returned. Fish darted through living coral again. The ocean responded to patience, to respect, to time, just as your nervous system responds now to quiet and repetition. The words drift over you like waves, arriving, receding, leaving calm behind. You do not have to remember them. Your mind can let them pass through, keeping only the feeling they bring, a sense that the world, though imperfect, is still capable of repair. The train enters a long stretch of countryside with no lights at all. Darkness outside the window becomes complete. Instead of feeling empty, it feels full, like a deep, peaceful lake. Inside the carriage, the dim glow remains, soft and amber, safe. Your breathing slows even more. Perhaps you are no longer controlling it at all. The body takes over, doing what it has done every night of your life. In, out, in, out. Each breath is a little deeper, a little quieter. The stranger falls silent for a while, allowing the rhythm of the tracks to speak. Click, glide, click, glide. It is almost like a heartbeat, steady, reliable. You may notice that each sound pulls you further inward, away from the day, away from effort. If thoughts appear, they are faint and unimportant. They float by like distant clouds, barely noticed. You do not need to chase them or push them away. Just let them drift until they dissolve. Somewhere in the distance, an owl calls. Or maybe it is only in your imagination. Either way, it fits perfectly into the night. A reminder that the world is alive, even when it is quiet. The stranger resumes speaking, but now the stories are shorter, softer. A town sharing meals after a flood. Strangers helping one another during a blackout. Simple gestures, a hand held, a door opened, a light left on. These moments do not make headlines, but they stitch the world together all the same. The train gently sways, side to side, just enough to rock you, like being cradled, like being on a boat in calm water. Your eyelids may flutter. They can close fully now if they have not already. Nothing important will be missed. Outside, the night deepens toward its quietest hour. Inside, warmth spreads through your chest, your belly, your limbs. You might feel as if you are sinking or floating, or both at once. This is the space between waking and sleep, a safe place, a soft place. The stranger's voice fades again, becoming part of the background, blending with the hum of the train. Words turn into tone. Tone turns into comfort. Comfort turns into rest. If you are still awake, that is perfectly fine. If you are drifting, that is perfect too. There is no expectation here, no finish line. Just this steady journey through the night. The train continues onward, carrying you through darkness, through calm, through stories of a world quietly healing. And with every mile, every breath, you move closer to sleep. The night train moves on, unhurried, as if it understands the importance of this pace. Nothing is rushed here. Nothing is forced. The countryside outside feels endless now, a wide blanket of dark blues and soft blacks. Occasionally, the faint outline of a hill appears, then gently fades away again. Inside the carriage, the air feels heavier in a comforting way, like a warm quilt settling over you. Your body has grown still. Even your thoughts seem to move more slowly, as if they too are ready to rest. Across from you, the kind stranger adjusts their posture, careful and quiet. When they speak again, it is almost like a thought shared rather than a voice heard. They tell you that hope often moves quietly. It rarely announces itself. It grows in small corners, in patient hands, in moments when people choose care over indifference. They speak of wetlands restored, where water once stood stagnant and lifeless. Volunteers returned native plants. Birds came back, then frogs, then insects, humming in the warm evenings. The land remembered what it was meant to be. Listening to this, you may feel a subtle sense of trust, knowing that things, given time and care, can find their balance again. The train glides over a bridge now. You cannot see the water below, but you sense it, a river moving slowly in the dark. The sound changes just slightly, a hollow echo beneath the steady hum. Then it passes, and the rhythm returns to normal, as reliable as ever. Your breathing is deep and effortless. Each inhale fills you gently. Each exhale releases you further. Muscles that have held on all day begin to soften completely. Your forehead smooths. Your tongue rests easily in your mouth. Even the small muscles around your eyes let go. The stranger pauses, allowing silence to stretch comfortably. In that silence, you might notice subtle sounds you had not heard before. The faint rustle of fabric as the train moves. The quiet click of cooling metal. These sounds are soft and predictable. They give your mind nothing to solve, only something to drift with. When the stranger speaks again, they share a story closer to home. A neighborhood that came together after a long winter storm. Power was out, roads were blocked, people checked on one another, shared food, laughed by candlelight. In the absence of modern noise, connection grew stronger. Sometimes quiet creates space for what really matters. Outside, the sky begins to lighten almost imperceptibly. Not dawn yet, just the suggestion that night is deepening toward its final stretch. The stars fade one by one, though the moon still watches, calm and steady. Your body feels wonderfully heavy now, as if gravity has doubled in kindness. If you imagine trying to move, it seems unnecessary. Everything you need is already here: support, warmth, stillness. The train sways gently through a curve, and that motion sends another wave of relaxation through you, like a lullaby without words, like being rocked in familiar arms. The stranger's stories grow simpler, shorter. They speak of a single tree planted in a city street, of a rescued animal finding a home, of a letter arriving at just the right moment. These are small things, but small things, repeated, build a sense of safety, a sense that you are not alone in this world. Your mind may now drift between images and darkness. You might see flashes of the landscapes passing by, fields, trees, water, or perhaps nothing at all. Just a soft, blank space. Both are welcome. The train passes another small station. You barely notice it. A few lights, a sign you do not read. The moment is gone, almost as soon as it arrives. You remain exactly where you are, wrapped in motion and calm. The stranger smiles softly, though you may only sense it rather than see it. Their role is nearly complete. They have shared what they came to share. The rest of the journey is for you and sleep. The hum of the train becomes the main sound now, deep, constant, reassuring. It feels as though it syncs with your heartbeat, slowing it, smoothing it out. Each beat a little farther apart, each moment stretching comfortably. If any last thoughts arise, they feel distant and unimportant. Tomorrow can wait. Plans can wait. Questions can wait. This moment asks only that you rest. The countryside outside is completely still now. No lights, no movement, just the sense of open space. Inside, the carriage feels like a cocoon, carrying you safely forward through the night. Your breathing is slow and rhythmic. In, out, in, out. Each cycle pulls you deeper into sleep. Your body knows this path well. It has traveled it countless times. The stranger's voice fades entirely, leaving only the sound of the tracks. Click, glide, hum, over and over. A gentle pattern with no beginning and no end. You may already be asleep. If not, you are very close. The space between listening and dreaming grows thinner. Words soften, meaning dissolves. Comfort remains. The train continues on its quiet journey, carrying you through darkness and calm, through stories and silence, toward rest, and you are safe. The night train keeps moving, steady and faithful, as if it has all the time in the world. The hours feel generous now. There is no pressure inside them, just space. Wide open space where rest can stretch out and settle in fully. Your body is deeply relaxed, so relaxed that you may barely feel its edges anymore. It is as if you are dissolving into the seat, into the warmth of the carriage, into the sound itself. The hum of the train is no longer something you hear. It is something you are part of. Outside, the land sleeps. Fields lie flat and dark. Trees stand quietly, their branches resting. Even the animals seem tucked away, breathing softly in hidden places. The entire world appears to be participating in this moment of pause, this collective exhale. Inside, the lights are dimmer now, or perhaps your eyes simply no longer register them. Your eyelids are heavy, sealed comfortably, without effort. Your face is smooth, your mouth relaxed, your breathing slow and deep, moving your body gently with each rise and fall. If there is a sense of floating, let it happen. If there is a sense of sinking, let that happen too. There is no wrong sensation here, only comfort finding its way through you. The kind stranger across from you is quiet now, their presence fading into the background like a candle burning low. They have given you what they came to give. Stories of restoration, proof of kindness, gentle reminders that the world is still capable of healing, just as you are capable of rest. The train passes through another long stretch of darkness. This one feels deeper, thicker, like velvet. The sound of the tracks becomes even more soothing, here, almost hypnotic. Each repetition carries you further away from wakefulness. Click, glide, hum, click, glide, hum. The pattern is predictable, safe, and deeply calming. Your mind enjoys predictability. It allows vigilance to fade. It allows trust to take over. You may notice that time no longer feels linear. Moments stretch and overlap. It no longer matters how long you have been listening. It only matters that you are here and that you are resting. A faint image might drift through your mind, the sea at night, tiny turtle tracks in soft sand, slowly being smoothed away by the tide. Or perhaps a river flowing quietly through a village, reflecting lantern light, carrying away what is no longer needed. These images do not demand attention. They simply pass through, leaving calm behind. Your breathing becomes even slower now. Longer pauses between inhale and exhale. Longer moments of stillness in between. This is the rhythm of deep rest. The rhythm your body remembers instinctively. The train gently rocks again, barely noticeable, but enough to send another wave of relaxation through your spine. Shoulders sink, hips settle, legs feel warm and heavy, feet completely at ease. If there is any last trace of tension anywhere in your body, imagine it loosening now, like a knot slowly untying itself. No pulling, no force, just patience, just release. The soundscape remains constant. No surprises, no sharp noises, only the low, steady presence of motion. It tells your nervous system that everything is under control, that it can finally stand down for the night. Outside, the horizon begins to hint at change. Not brightness yet, just a subtle thinning of the darkness, the kind that happens before dawn, when the world is at its quietest. This is the hour when even worries are asleep. Inside the carriage, you are wrapped in a cocoon of warmth and sound, protected, supported, carried. Your thoughts, if they appear at all, are slow and fragmented. They no longer form narratives. They drift like leaves on water, turning gently, then disappearing. Click, glide, hum, click, glide, hum. Each repetition draws you deeper. Each repetition reassures you that nothing is required of you. You do not need to listen actively. You do not need to understand. Sleep is not something you achieve. It is something you allow. The train continues, mile after mile, without asking for directions. It knows the way. Just as your body knows how to sleep, just as it knows how to heal, given time and gentleness. You may feel a pleasant emptiness now, a quiet space where thoughts used to be. This space is not lonely, it is peaceful. It is full of rest. The kind stranger is no longer distinct. They have blended into the environment, into the story, into the calm itself. You are alone in the best possible way, not isolated, but held. The night holds you, the train holds you. Sleep approaches softly, without announcement. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to think, nothing left to hold. Just rest, just drift, just sleep. The train moves on through the final quiet hours of night, and everything feels settled now. Not just around you, but within you. Your body has found its most comfortable position. Your breath has found its slowest, easiest rhythm. Your mind has found a place where it no longer needs to wander. The darkness outside the window is soft, almost luminous in its depth. It is the kind of darkness that feels protective, like a curtain drawn to keep the world gentle while you rest. The landscape passes unseen, but its presence is felt. Open land, sleeping towns, silent roads, all of it moving past without asking for your attention. Inside the carriage, the hum of the train is steady and low. It wraps around you like a blanket of sound. Each vibration travels through the floor, through the seat, through your body, loosening anything that remains tight. You are deeply supported now, by the train, by gravity, by the night itself. Your breathing is so slow, it almost feels like the space between breaths is longer than the breaths themselves. In that space, there is a profound stillness, a stillness that feels safe, a stillness that allows sleep to take full hold. If dreams are beginning, they are gentle ones, soft colors, slow movement. Perhaps you are walking through a quiet forest at dawn, or standing by calm water, watching ripples spread and fade. These images require no effort. They come and go on their own, like reflections. The rhythm of the tracks continues, unchanged. Click, glide, hum, click, glide, hum. It is a rhythm that asks nothing of you, a rhythm that has been carrying travelers through the night for generations. A rhythm that says you can let go now. The kind stranger, if they are still there at all, feels more like a memory than a presence. Their stories have done their work. They have planted something calm and hopeful within you. Now they fade, as all guides do, leaving you in the care of sleep. Outside, the sky begins its slow transition. The deepest black softens into dark blue. Still no urgency, still no sound. This is not morning yet. This is the quiet promise before it. Your body is fully at rest. Muscles slack, joints loose, heartbeat slow and even. The systems that protect you during the day are off duty now. Repair and renewal take over, quietly, efficiently. If you are aware at all, that awareness is distant, hazy, like hearing a sound from another room. The words you hear no longer form sentences. They dissolve into tone, into rhythm, into warmth. The train continues forward, but you are no longer traveling in the same way. You are drifting inward, deeper into sleep, deeper into rest, deeper into the kind of calm that feels like coming home. There is no destination you need to reach tonight. The journey itself is enough. The movement without effort, the passing of time without demand. The hum remains constant, unwavering. It tells your mind that everything is okay, that you are safe, that you can stay here as long as you need. Breath flows in, breath flows out. Long, slow, quiet. Each exhale carries you further down, like sinking gently into warm sand. Each inhale supports you, keeping you comfortably afloat between worlds. The countryside outside is almost entirely still now. Even the wind seems to have paused. It is as if the world is holding its breath with you, honoring this moment of deep rest. The train glides on. You drift. Sleep wraps around you completely now, like a soft, dark ocean. There is nothing more to follow, nothing more to listen for, nothing more to hold. Just sleep, just rest, just quiet. The train moves onward, and after a long stretch of silence, something shifts, not abruptly, just enough for you to feel that the night is still unfolding. Outside the window, the countryside opens into a wide valley. Moonlight rests across low grass and distant water, turning everything silver and calm. The train slows slightly here, as if respecting the quiet of the place. The sound beneath you becomes softer, more spaced out, each vibration like a gentle nudge toward deeper rest. Across from you, the kind stranger stirs again, as though sensing that the story still has room to grow. They do not speak right away. They look out the window for a moment, watching the land pass, then turn back to you with the same easy warmth. They begin to tell you about a village tucked between hills, far from highways and noise. For years, the people there worried the land was tired. Crops struggled, streams ran thin. But instead of leaving, they stayed, they listened, they changed how they lived. They let fields rest. They welcomed the return of wildflowers. Slowly, bees came back, then birds. Then the soil softened again. Life returned, not because it was forced, but because it was given time. As you listen, your breathing deepens even more. The story does not demand attention. It simply settles into you, like warmth spreading through cold hands. The train curves gently around the valley, and for a moment you can see a ribbon of water below. A river, calm and dark, reflecting the moon. It moves steadily, never rushing, never stopping. The stranger points it out quietly, as if sharing a secret. That river, they say softly, was once nearly gone. You imagine the water thinning, struggling, then slowly returning. You imagine hands clearing debris, planting grasses along the banks, protecting what remained until it could grow again. The image feels comforting, familiar somehow, like rest itself. Inside the carriage, the air feels heavier now, but in the best way, like being wrapped deeper into a blanket. Your limbs feel distant. Your body has fully accepted that it does not need to stay alert anymore. The stranger continues, their voice low and steady. They tell you about nights like this one, happening all over the world at the same time. Somewhere, a fisherman sleeps, while tides shift quietly below. Somewhere else, a child breathes evenly beneath a quilt. Somewhere, a city pauses between heartbeats. The world, they remind you, is mostly made of moments like this. Quiet, unseen, gentle. The train moves past the valley and into rolling hills again. Trees line the tracks, tall and dark, their branches barely moving. The sound changes slightly, becoming softer, more enclosed, like traveling through a long hallway of night. Your eyelids are heavy now, not strained, just naturally closed, like they have always belonged this way. Your thoughts drift slowly, stretching out, dissolving before they can fully form. The stranger's voice fades and returns in pieces, blending with the motion of the train. They speak of restoration again, but now it is closer, smaller. A single garden behind an apartment building. A riverbank cleared by neighbors. A beach protected long enough for turtles to return, one careful step at a time. These stories do not feel like lessons. They feel reassurance. Outside, the stars thin as clouds pass overhead. The moon dims slightly, then reappears. The night breathes just as you do. The train glides through a small town while everyone sleeps. Streetlights glow softly. Empty platforms wait patiently. Nothing stirs. The moment passes without asking anything of you. Inside, you feel profoundly safe. Your breathing is slow and deep now, moving your body almost imperceptibly. In, out, in, out. Each breath takes you further from the edges of thought, further from the need to listen closely. The stranger speaks one last time, quietly, kindly. They say that rest is not something you earn. It is something you return to, like a shoreline, like a home. Then they fall silent. The train continues on its path, carrying you through the last stretches of night. The sound beneath you remains steady and familiar. Click, glide, hum. It does not change. It does not surprise you. Your mind drifts into images that no longer need words. Water moving, leaves rustling, warm light behind closed windows. These images come and go, unimportant and soothing. Sleep takes you gently now, not all at once, but gradually, like sinking into warm water. There is no moment you can point to, just a soft letting go. The train keeps moving, the world keeps resting. The train slips out of the city with hardly a sound, as if it knows better than to wake anyone. Buildings thin out, streetlights become fewer. Soon the windows show only open land and the soft reflection of the carriage lights. The countryside opens wide, quiet and patient, stretching under a sky brushed with moonlight. The rhythm beneath you settles in quickly, a low hum, a steady glide. The tracks sing softly, not loud enough to demand attention, just enough to keep you company. You lean back, feeling the gentle sway, and with each mile, the day feels farther away. Across from you sits a stranger. They look ordinary in the best way, relaxed, calm, the kind of person who seems at ease with silence. For a while, neither of you speaks. The train does the talking. Fields pass, trees stand like dark silhouettes. Occasionally, a farmhouse light glows briefly, then disappears behind you. After some time, the stranger glances up and smiles, as if sensing the moment is right. They tell you they carry good news, not breaking news, not urgent headlines, just true stories they've collected over years of listening and paying attention. Stories that often go unnoticed because they happen slowly, quietly, while most people are looking elsewhere. The first story takes you to a beach at the edge of the world. For decades, green sea turtles struggled to return there. Too much light, too much noise, too many obstacles. But people learned. They turned off shoreline lights at night. They cleared paths. They waited. One season, a single turtle returned, then a few more. Now, on certain nights, the sand is marked with delicate tracks, and hatchlings make their careful journey toward the sea under the stars. No celebration, just persistence rewarded. The train rolls onward, the sound beneath you growing more hypnotic with every mile. You notice your breathing slowing without effort. The stranger's voice blends perfectly with the rhythm, rising and falling like a tide. Next, they tell you about a river in India that was once considered beyond saving. Years of pollution had stilled its flow. People stopped believing it could ever be clean again. But small groups began anyway, clearing waste, restoring banks, teaching children to care for what remained. It took time, years even, but the water returned. Fish came back, life followed. The river remembered its path. Outside the window, the countryside changes subtly. Rolling fields give way to gentle hills. Mist gathers low to the ground, glowing faintly in the moonlight. The train moves through it like a slow breath, unbothered. You feel yourself sink deeper into the seat. Your shoulders relax. Your jaw loosens. The simple act of listening becomes easier, softer. The stranger continues, never rushing. They speak of forests once stripped bare, now growing again because people chose patience over profit. They speak of wetlands restored, where birds returned before people even noticed. Of towns rebuilding not just structures, but trust after storms and fires and loss. Each story is offered quietly, without drama. The good news is not loud. It does not demand applause. It exists whether anyone is watching or not. The train passes a small station. Empty platform. Lights glowing softly. The moment is gone almost before you register it. Inside the carriage, nothing changes. The night remains calm. The stranger pauses between stories, letting silence settle. In that quiet, you become more aware of the train itself, the gentle sway, the steady hum, the sense of being carried without needing to steer. Then another story begins. This one is smaller. A neighborhood garden planted where a parking lot once sat unused. At first, only a few people came. Then more. Herbs grew. Tomatoes ripened. Conversations started. A space meant for nothing became a place for belonging. Your eyelids feel heavy now, not tired in a strained way, just ready. You can close them whenever you like. The story will continue whether you listen closely or not. Outside, the land darkens further. Stars thin as clouds drift past. The moon peeks through now and then, patient and unbothered. The stranger's voice grows softer, slower, as if the night itself is guiding the pace. They remind you, gently, that the world is more than its noise, that for every broken thing, something else is quietly being repaired. often by hands that will never be named. The train curves through a stretch of forest. Trees line both sides, tall and still. The sound shifts slightly, becoming more enclosed, more intimate. It feels like moving through a tunnel of calm. Your breathing deepens. In, out, in, out. Each breath carries you further from the day and closer to rest. The stranger shares one last story, a simple one. A light left on for someone coming home late. A meal shared. A door held open. They say these moments matter more than we realize, that they ripple outward in ways we rarely see. Then they fall quiet. The train continues through the countryside, steady and sure. The night holds you. The stories settle into you like warm embers, glowing softly. Sleep arrives gently, without announcement. As the train carries you onward, through quiet land, through hope, through rest. The train moves deeper into the countryside now, far enough from towns that even the idea of traffic feels distant. Outside the window, the land opens wide. Long stretches of fields rest under the night sky, interrupted only by rows of trees and the faint outline of low hills. Everything looks softened by darkness, as if sharp edges have been gently erased. Inside the carriage, the warmth feels steady and reassuring. The seat supports you easily. The sway of the train is subtle but constant, a quiet reminder that you are going somewhere without needing to know where. The hum beneath you is familiar now, almost comforting in its predictability. Across from you, the stranger shifts slightly, folding their hands as they continue. Their voice remains low and calm, never startling, never pulling you out of your ease. They tell you about a coastline far away, where fishing once pushed the waters too hard. For years, nets came back lighter and lighter. The sea seemed empty. Then something changed. Fishing paused in certain areas. Limits were respected. People waited. Slowly, life returned. Schools of fish grew dense again. The water cleared. The sea responded not to force, but to restraint. Listening to this, you feel a quiet sense of relief, as if patience itself is being affirmed. The train passes a narrow road crossing. A small signal light blinks red, then disappears behind you. Somewhere nearby, a single house glows softly, its windows warm against the dark. You imagine someone inside, already asleep, unaware of the train passing gently through the night. Your breathing is slow, and even now, you may notice that your thoughts no longer stick. They rise, hover briefly, then dissolve. The effort of staying awake feels unnecessary. The stranger continues, sharing stories gathered not from headlines, but from conversations. They tell you about a school rebuilt after an earthquake, not bigger or flashier, but stronger, filled with light. About children returning with backpacks and laughter, life settling back into its rhythm. They tell you about communities planting mangroves along eroding shores, knowing the trees would take years to grow, but trusting the future enough to begin. Outside, a thin layer of fog appears again, drifting low across the fields. The train slips through it effortlessly. The world feels hushed, wrapped in layers of quiet. You feel heavier now, in the best possible way. Your arms rest where they are. Your legs feel loose and warm. Your head settles into a position that feels exactly right, as if your body has been gently adjusting itself this entire time, waiting for this moment. The stranger pauses, allowing the sound of the train to take over. The silence is not empty. It feels full, like a held breath that doesn't need to be released yet. When they speak again, their words are softer still. They tell you about a desert region where people learned to harvest rainwater drop by drop. Small channels carved by hand, tanks built slowly. Over time, green returned in patches. Gardens appeared, shade followed. The land responded to care the same way a tired body does when finally allowed to rest. The train curves gently, and for a moment the motion sends a wave of comfort through your spine. It feels like being rocked, like being reassured without words. Outside, the clouds thin, stars reappear, scattered lightly across the sky. The moon hangs low, pale and steady, watching the countryside pass beneath it. The stranger's voice blends more and more with the background. You no longer need to follow each sentence. The meaning settles without effort. Hope does not feel like an idea now. It feels like a temperature, warm, present, steady. The train passes another small station, even quieter than the last. No one waits. The platform lights hum faintly. Then it is gone. The countryside closes in again, dark and peaceful. Your eyelids may flutter. They can stay closed now. Nothing important requires your attention. The story continues, whether you listen or not. The stranger tells one final, longer story. This one is about a river that flows through many countries, changing names as it goes. In some places, it is wide and fast. In others, narrow and slow. Along its path, people depend on it, care for it, sometimes neglect it, sometimes protect it, and still it flows, carrying water, carrying life, connecting places that will never meet. They say the river reminds them of kindness, quiet, persistent, always moving forward. The train moves alongside a stretch of water, now barely visible in the dark. You sense it more than you see it. The presence of it feels grounding, steady. Your breathing is deep and slow. There are long pauses between breaths now, long enough that your body feels suspended in calm. This is the edge of sleep, the place where effort fades completely. The stranger's voice trails off naturally, not ending, just softening until it becomes part of the night. They have nothing left to add, nothing needs to be explained. The train continues through the quiet countryside, carrying you gently forward. The world outside remains calm. The stories rest within you, warm and steady. Sleep comes easily now, like stepping into a familiar room and turning off the light, and the train goes on. The train does not hurry. It seems content to move at this pace, gliding through the countryside, as though it understands that nights like this are meant to be savored. Outside, the land rolls gently, rising and falling in shapes softened by darkness. Fence lines pass like faint pencil marks. Trees stand in loose clusters, their branches barely stirring. Inside the carriage, the warmth feels settled now, even deeper than before. The air carries the faint, comforting scent of fabric and clean metal. Everything feels lived in, dependable, the kind of space where nothing unexpected happens. Across from you, the stranger remains, their presence calm and steady. They have not rushed their stories, and they do not rush now. There is a long pause, one that feels intentional. A pause meant for listening not just to words, but to the quiet itself. When they speak again, they tell you about a mountain village where winters were once harsh and isolating. Roads would close, supplies would run thin. People learned to rely on one another in simple ways, sharing heat, sharing food, walking long distances just to check on a neighbor. Over time, what could have been loneliness became connection. Even now, long after roads are better and winters kinder. The habit of looking out for one another remains. The stranger smiles slightly as they say this, as if remembering something personal. The train moves past a stretch of open pasture. Moonlight settles across the grass like frost, pale and still. Somewhere out there, animals sleep, curled close to the earth, breathing slowly. You feel a quiet kinship with them, all of you resting under the same sky. Your body feels heavier still, as if gravity has gently increased, not to pull you down, but to hold you more securely. Your hands are loose, your shoulders have dropped fully. Even the space behind your eyes feels relaxed, open. The stranger's voice continues, but it no longer feels separate from the sound of the train. It rises and falls with the motion, blending into the hum beneath you. They tell you about a city that once turned its back on a polluted canal, building walls to hide it. Years later, people decided to uncover it instead. Stone by stone, they brought it back into the light. Water flowed again, walkways formed. People gathered where no one used to go. What was hidden and forgotten became a place of life. Outside, the countryside grows quieter still. No distant lights now, no roads, just land and sky. The window reflects a faint outline of your own shape, softened by darkness, barely there. You notice that you are no longer thinking about the future or the past. There is only this steady movement, this gentle listening. Time feels wide, unpressured. The train passes through a shallow cutting. Rock walls rising briefly on either side. The sound deepens for a moment, echoing softly, then opens back up as the land flattens again. The change is subtle, but comforting, like turning over in sleep and finding the pillow cool. The stranger shifts slightly, careful not to disturb the calm. They tell you about a school built beside a forest, where children learn outdoors whenever possible. How they watch insects, learn the names of trees, understand seasons, not from books alone, but from living within them. The children grow quieter there, they say, more attentive, more patient. The forest teaches without speaking. Your breathing has slowed so much now that it feels like the train is breathing for you. In, out, in, out. Each breath seems to carry you deeper into the seat, deeper into rest. Outside, a narrow stream flashes briefly in the moonlight, then disappears behind tall grass. You sense water more often than you see it tonight. Rivers, canals, wetlands, always moving, always finding a way forward. The stranger tells you about people who clean rivers, not because they expect thanks, but because the water matters to them. About elders teaching children how to listen to the land. About quiet victories that happen far from cameras. Your eyelids are fully closed now, if they were not already. The images form gently behind them, slow and unfocused. Fields, water, light in windows, faces smiling softly. The train glides through another sleeping town. A church steeple passes. A row of houses, a single car parked beneath a tree. Then darkness again. Nothing stirs. The world feels deeply at rest. The stranger's voice grows softer still, almost a murmur. They say that hope does not always feel bright. Sometimes it feels like this, like a warm seat, like a steady ride through the dark, like knowing you are not alone, even when everything is quiet. Their words trail off, not because the story ends, but because it no longer needs to be told aloud. The train continues its journey through the quiet countryside. The hum remains constant. The motion remains gentle. Your body has crossed fully into sleep now, or is hovering just at its edge. Either way, you are safe, held by movement, held by night, held by the quiet knowledge that the world is still mending itself, slowly, patiently, even as you rest. And the train goes on.